so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
12:01 on the Thursday afternoon of Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. We've been doing Two Guys for 4 years, and we've always talked about the Stanley Cup Final, but we've never had the Oilers in it. So it's a fun one to set out today. Cass, how you doing, buddy? What's up?
I'm good. I'm tired today. I'm tired today.
Why are you so tired, buddy?
Well, as me and Gage were talking before, I let him know, and he said, "You know what? Just enjoy it because big kids, big problems." But my middle one was up all night, with liquid coming out of both ends. So
no.
Yeah, not a very much sleep type of night, but we're good. We're good. I'm good. The Oilers are back home. I'm not panicking. Gager's not panicking. You're not panicking. Half the city is panicking, but we're good.
Half the city is panicking for sure. Two Guys a Goalie presented to you by GS Construction today. If you are looking for work, look no further. Go to gsconstruction.ca and they will find a job for you. I mean, it's as simple as that. Great team that they've built over there at GS Construction, and they want you to be a part of it. Speaking of great teams today, Gager, you were part of a legendary hangout today. How funny were Jonathan Torrens and Alice Moran today?
Dusty, I'm not unlike you. Don't get too big ahead here because I'm going to give you a little bit of props here. But I've always said the mark of a true professional is making something difficult look very easy. And if you haven't watched the Hangout, go back and watch the Hangout. And I'm not saying it because I'm on it. Usually I'm all about self-promotion. But Alice Morgan and Jonathan Torrens are one of the two most funny individuals on the planet. And it was like, I didn't want to go on. Like, Maddie's going, get in there. I go, no. And then I sat there and just the stories, they're both Oilers fans. So it's automatically unbelievable. But them telling the progression of careers and J-Rock and, it was just awesome. And they were, you heard it, obviously. The microphone was in front of my face, laughing. I don't think I've laughed that hard. I can't remember whether I've laughed that hard over an hour period, right? Without being
it was hilarious. They were both. I was about to say that Torrens had me dying, but I think I was laughing harder at Alice and what she brought to her story about being concussed. I was just like, oh my God.
Going on the traveling theater of
50 Shades of Grey mock-up. Yeah.
And I'm not going to ruin it because you have to go back.
You gotta watch
that
it.
Story itself is, this reeks of an SD.
Oh, I did. Yeah, no, I saw the SD buzz. It was there in the nasty chat. People were pretty excited about it. It was good. It was funny because I had to pick up my wife and take her somewhere. So I was listening to you guys, and then I heard when they were setting it all up and stuff. And then I got back here to the office, and I sit down on the couch over there, and you were sitting in the chair off to the side. And Eric and I always joke about that chair, the chair where the guy watches, type of thing. Yeah, and we're like, look, Gager's sitting in the chair right now. This is hilarious. And then they slid you guys in there. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. That was one of the best pieces of content I think we've churned out here at Edmonton Sports Talk.
Thanks to those guys for doing it. Jonathan Torrens. I had questions.
Yeah.
This was the thing. I had questions to ask him, but he answered them all. I wanted to know, the dicks from Letterkenny. And,
well, I texted
God,
Tommy didn't read the text properly because I was in the nasty chat and I said, Tommy, if you don't ask him about Noah Dick, you're fired. And then I texted him on his phone too, and I said, ask about Noah Dick, you coward. And they eventually got to it. Every time I see a Jonathan Torrance character, I'm like, this is one of my favorite characters ever. He'll never top this. Then I see another one. I'm like, oh, damn it. You've done it again, Torrance. It's a really good show.
He's the Canadian Walter Goggins, right? Like, just just let him cook. But the best part of the whole thing when I got home, Dusty, is I went to my son and I go, look who I met today. And he goes, like J-Rock, because he rewatched.
He rewatched Trailer Park Boys. Yeah.
So I'm a cool dad again. It's great.
Good for you. I was actually kind of pissed off. I was telling my wife when I was driving around there at the hangout, I was just like, you know what? I said, I was all excited because he was supposed to come in studio, but then he got to go to the morning skate. So he went to the morning skate and then they decided to do the showdown. Like, I was kind of sad as I was watching. I was like, I'm not even going to get a picture with J-Rock. Like, this makes me, I
half expected you to just pull in.
If I didn't have to do some running around, buddy, I was telling boys I was sat in that hot tub and just stared at you guys through the window the whole time. That would have been pretty good. Anyway, it was a good hangout today. If you haven't checked that out yet, we got big shoes to fill. Fun lock shop today too with Husna. We didn't even get to everything that we wanted to get to. So let's get right into it with two guys and a goalie, presented to you by GS Construction, the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, and safety driving their success. Foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of that. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca and click Ready to Work, or just visit their page at Indeed.ca. And with their Next Up Person program at GS Construction, it's not just a job, it is a career. All right, Cass, where are you at right now? I mean, you said Gager's not panicking. I've been trying to talk people down from panicking. I know it's bleak. I mean, usually 90% of the time, the team up 2-0 wins this thing. But I've been trying to talk people off the ledge for the last couple of days. What's your mindset going into Game 3 here, Cass?
Yeah, well, bleak isn't over, right?
Yeah.
Like, bleak isn't series over. Like, worse odds or bad odds aren't no odds. You know, it's it's not even at the 1 in a million. So you're saying there's a chance, right? Like, that's the kind of attitude I think you have to have, don't you guys? Like, because really, fellas, you win tonight, and all of a sudden you're back in the series, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I don't know what the percentage is of teams that win a game when they're up 2-1 in a series, and it's going to be higher than the team that's got the 1. The team that's 2 is going to be higher percentage odds than the team that has 1, but it's going to look a heck of a lot better statistically than a team that's down 2-0. So really, the time to panic would be if you lose tonight, then panic away. You lose tonight, panic all you want. Like, go nuts if you're down 3-0. But if you win tonight, the series looks completely different. You're fine. But yeah, I feel good, gentlemen. I feel okay right now. I feel all right. I'll probably start getting a little antsy around time to drop the puck. But for now, I'm good. I'll be antsy or not antsy depending on how the first couple of shifts go. Like, if the Oilers start the way they started the last game, I'm going to be full on panic. But I feel good right now, guys. I don't think there's any reason to freak out unless they're down a couple goals early. Then go nuts.
Gager, if they win tonight, they're down 2-1, which is what they were against Dallas, which is what they were against Vancouver. I know it was a different path to get there. I understand that, but in the end, it's a 2-1 deficit. You've already faced this twice.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like, what do you think, Gager? Where do you come on that?
No, I mean, I think if you look at the first 2 games of the series, what is it? A missed opportunity. You outplayed them. Should have had a better result, and you weren't really at your best the next one. So I take that into consideration. If I'm the Edmonton, we haven't taken advantage of an opportunity, and we haven't been at our best now. And the third thing of that is Florida did what they needed to do. They needed to win their first 2 home games. Right? They held serve, so to speak. Now it's the Oilers' turn. That's how I look at it, and it's essentially something that you've been doing for almost a year now, is win a hockey game, right? Like, and they've done this consistently. The way that the Oilers are talking too, like, everyone else is rattled, but the actual individuals don't seem rattled about this whole situation, and that's encouraging to me. It's going to take a huge effort, but no, you just got to hold serve. Now it's your turn.
780-218-9999 if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at edmontonsportstalk.com. Hell, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't want to comment in the nasty chat, you can just fire us those text messages as well. It's funny. This text comes in, no name on it, but says those 90% of the teams that weren't able to come back didn't have McDavid or Draisaitl on them. Hopefully they pull a Crosby and Malkin in 2009. And Crosby and Malkin pulled off this exact feat against the Detroit Red Wings. Down 2-0, tied it at 2, down 3-2, won at home, and then went and won that 2-1 game on the road that had the great finish with the Red Wings pushing at the end of that one. Cass, how much should we read into the fact that McDavid and Draisaitl and just how calm everybody looks, like Gager just said? Like, there doesn't seem to be, like, they don't look defeated. They don't look like nervous. They still look confident in the situation that they're in, which I think is kind of impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it is impressive, but let's evaluate the games here. The first 2 games in the series. Game number 1, they dramatically outplayed the Florida Panthers. Dramatically. Should have won it. Deserved to win it. Didn't. Bobrovsky steals them the game. You make a couple mistakes and end up in the back of your net. There were bad mistakes, and that's it. But you outplayed them dramatically. Game number 2, you played atrocious. You played horrible the entire game. You didn't play your game. No one played their game. Everyone aside from Stuart Skinner was pretty much awful, or most people were awful. Like they did not play their game at all in game 2. So you're looking at this. If you're the Edmonton Oilers, going like, why panic? Why panic? If we play our game, we can have success against this group. Now, if we completely suck, well, yeah, we're going to get beat. That's why we got beat, but we're not going to suck. We're going to go out there. We're going to do what we need to do. We're going to stick with the process, just like we've done the entirety of the season, just like we've done the entirety of the playoffs. We haven't had many back-to-back bad games in the playoffs. So, you know what? We're going to right the ship here. We're going to go back out. We're going to be fine. We win the next one. It's a 2-1 series. No big deal. We've been in that situation before. Like that's mentally where they're at, and that's how they get there. And if they were freaking out, if they were panicking, if they were, just like, woe is me, the world is ending, this is so bad, this is so horrible, like, yeah, then the series is over because you're defeated already in your own mind. So, no, this is exactly where they need to be mentally with this, is still feel confidence, still stick with the process, know that if you execute and if you play well, you're going to have a chance to win these hockey games, get back in the series, and still hopefully win a Stanley Cup.
780-218-9999. Chief Andy over in the nasty chat says, Cass, still on the Skinner train. LOL. I mean, you have to be. Since he got the net back, Skinner's been really good.
I've never got off the Skinner train. I know everyone, like, always is all over me in pre and post game, still, particularly, like, ooh, president of the Skinner fan club and this and that, and, oh, you just think Skinner's good because you've never played with a good goalie in your life. I'm like, well, I played against Joaquin Gage in Shinny, so I know something. And
right.
But it's just like, people give it to me over that all the time. But I never lost confidence in him. And he has played well. And he played well last game too. We actually had some people that were trying to blame him for the game 2 loss in the nasty chat.
Oh, I saw it. I lost my mind the next morning on the show. Like, what are you doing? Like,
ludicrous to say that it was his fault. But anyways, yeah.
What goalie? I mean, let's just look at the regular season, and if you go all the way and win the Stanley Cup, even the Stanley Cup winning goaltender, let's say it's 22 games. Is he brilliant for every single one of those 22 games? No. Even the regular season, find me a goalie that's brilliant for 22 games straight. There's going to be stumbles. There was a little bit of a stumble at one point, but the more important factor was the response. He's been excellent. The last 2 games of the last series, Stuart Skinner was the main reason he closed out a series. That's for a second year in the league goaltender. And he still has confidence in himself right now to do something special. The Oilers I said this, the Oilers are in such a good position goaltender wise right now. And he's capable of doing things. He's done it before. He can draw upon past experiences. But saying all that, he needs to have a really big game where, some of these he's going to have to take a couple away from the Florida Panthers tonight. And I don't know. Hopefully I got to wear lots of leather tonight, I guess, boys, because I killed a cat last week. I guess
I heard Cass was joking about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I
didn't know it was dead yet at that point.
I
So
know.
I apologize.
Still funny to hear that story though for me. Like,
but the Oilers got to kill some cats here, and I took one of their lives away, and I hope it wasn't from the Oilers. But at least it's only 4, not 9.
Gage, you need to dress as what do they call them? Those sex guys, a gimp or whatever, like where it's all leather and like. Yeah, whatever that is. I don't know what that's called. It was in the movie. You need to dress like the guy in 8mm with Nick Cage. That guy, the Machine or something like that.
Everyone's got a tickle trunk at home, Dusty. Mine's a little bit different than yours that was in the studio. But we'll see.
All right, you know what? Let's get into hire it or fire it for GS Construction, the presenting sponsor of Two Guys and a Goalie. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS Construction has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction today. Go to gsconstruction.ca for more. Lots of things on the Oilers that I want to get to, so that's why we're going to hit hire or fire it right here. All right, let's go here right now. The best thing for the Oilers power play right now would be Bush bombs. Hire it or fire it as a take?
I'll go first. I'm going to hire it. I think the whole factor that is you're simplifying the power play, and they're going to have to cover that off at some point. And what that's going to do is draw a guy, opening up seams, and it simplifies the power play. Getting pucks to the net, trying to get there. Tips, deflections, second chance opportunities. I think the Oilers have to get back to simplifying things, and then eventually those fancy plays that we're used to with puck retrievals, getting defensemen turning will develop from those opportunities.
What do you think, Cass?
I'm going to agree with some of what you said, Gager, but I'm going to fire it. I agree. I agree with the simplification, especially against the high pressure. I said this on the pre-game show, game 2. I said this on the post-game show, game 2. I'm going to say it again today, or a version of it. I'll paraphrase myself, but their first pass execution in zone has to be better. That's before the Bush bombs, because way too often they're not tape to tape, and they're holding onto the puck too long. Second guy, so after that first pass, it's not tape to tape. It's like handcuffing the second guy. And he's got nowhere to go with it, and there's heavy pressure. And then all of a sudden the puck's bobbling, and it's bobbling to the next guy, and it's bobbling to the next guy, and then you're trying to force a play under high pressure. You turn the puck over, and it's out. I think that first pass in particular, execution on the power play is more important than just saying, we just need a Bush bomb. We just need a Bush bomb. We just need a Bush bomb. I think the Bush bombs are important. They're a part of it. You need to have them. But I'm going to go with that first pass in zone execution, because to me, it just hasn't been there good enough.
780-218-9999 if you want to chime in. If you're watching over on YouTube, let's hammer the thumbs up today here on Two Guys and a Goalie. And we are very close to 8,900 subs on the YouTube channel. So if you've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, actually, we're there now. We just hit 8,900 subs. All right, well, we're not very far away from 9,000 subs. So if you have not subbed yet to the YouTube channel, help us get to 9,000 subs here by the end of the playoffs. All right, let's continue with hire it or fire it for GS Construction. With home ice, the Oilers need to try to keep McDavid away from Barkov. Hire it or fire it?
I'm going to fire it. I don't.
Doesn't matter who he's out there against?
No. I mean, McDavid's going to have the puck. When it's better McDavid having the puck than Barkov having the puck, because although he's touted as a really good defensive forward, he's also really good on the offensive side too. You're eliminating one of the strengths of Barkov, I think, by having Connor McDavid on the ice.
I'm going to fire it. I'm going to fire it. I don't think you worry about the matchup as much. I think maybe you worry about your defensive matchups a little bit more with your D-men, who's out there, depending on Darnell Nurse and his health and all that. I'm sure we'll get to that. So we'll unpack that more a little bit later. But I'm gonna fire it.
All right, let's go here. The Panthers plane arriving 3 hours late is actually a big deal. Hire it or fire it. Gager's gone, so you go first, Cass.
Yeah, I'm going to hire it.
You are.
I think that makes a difference.
I wanted your guys' thoughts on this. Like, I was mocking it this morning. It's 3 hours on a charter, but for guys who've been on these flights and know the transition from a game in a series, like, it's a big deal. Or maybe not a big deal, but it's somewhat of a deal.
Not a big deal. It's somewhat of a deal because they got here at about 8, didn't they?
They got here around 8 last night, so 10 o'clock Eastern.
Right. So 10 o'clock Eastern. So you're not, by the time you get in from the airport, you get some food, you get in your hotel, like you're not in bed till 10:30, 11. And really now you have the time change. So you're going to go to bed even, that's Florida time. You're going to bed at like 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 Edmonton time, like 12. To me, it's just, on top of that, just the mental frustration of being delayed and having to sit and wait to leave. I think, again, it's not going to be the defining factor. I mean, if Edmonton wins tonight, we're not going to look at this and be like, oh, it's all because Florida was late in the plane. I don't think that's it, but I think it's a factor. It's something that goes into it, and I think more of a negative that they were late mentally and physically from a rest and a preparation standpoint. There's something there. Not huge, not going to be the factor, but it is a factor.
Gager, did you hear the question, the original?
I can figure it out. So I'm going to fire it. I don't think it makes much of a difference. No, it's a couple hours. I don't think they got it. It's not like they got in too late. I think it's a non-factor.
All right, let's continue. Hire or fire it for GS Construction. This is the best chance the Oilers are going to have to win a Stanley Cup in this era. Hire it or fire it.
I'm going to fire it. It's always going to.
There's more to come.
There's too much parity. Yeah, it's going to be, regardless of what happens this year, it'll be just as hard or even harder next year to replicate the exact same performance. So I'm going to fire it.
This is the best chance.
This is the best chance the Oilers are going to have to win the Cup in this era.
I mean, I have to hire it because you're in the Stanley Cup final, and so much has to go right. And I think they may have a better team next year.
But can everything go right to get back? Yeah.
Can everything go right to get back? Like, I think they're a better team next year. And by all rights, they'll have a good opportunity to do it next year as well. But I kind of go, everything still has to go right. So, I'm weighing that against you're in the Stanley Cup final right now. So I gotta fire it.
All right, final one. Barbecuing frozen burgers is a fail. Hire it or fire it.
Are we talking about you, Dusty, or
we're talking about my conversation this morning? Like even Corey from Acme Meats after was like, "Hey, just so you know, I was busting your balls. We sell a ton of frozen burgers here." I was like, "You son of a gun! You sailed me down the river this morning." I guess we're kind of talking about. Well, what's the difference? Wait a second. I know what you're saying. Cass is a foodie and I'm a bum, so it's okay for me to barbecue frozen burgers. I get it.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I hire it because if I'm getting invited to Kassian Nielson for barbecue burgers, I'm looking forward to the frozen Angus beef, or prime rib ones. They're fantastic.
They are good.
And whatever. But if I go to Cass's place, I mean, if he throws a frozen patty on the grill, I'm leaving. Like I want.
Why?
That's
Why?
not.
What?
No. I want the grinder. I want different types of meat. I want the kitchen island to be nothing but condiments, that I can't fit on the thing. So I'm gonna hire it, Dusty.
Cass? You do this sometimes, don't you?
I've done
because of the girls, right? It's like, yeah, exactly. Like you're busy.
Girls, in a pinch. I've done it. Like I had a bunch of guys out at the cabin this last weekend, and it's like I did the wholesale big pile of frozen burgers because I'm like I can't for that many people just to do it and to have the meat. I'm just like I can't put the time in. I don't want to put the time in for it in that instance. So it's like it to me, it's all situational. Now, Dusty, if we were like, okay, there's no hockey on, we're not working, we're on a Saturday, no kids sports, like it's an empty Saturday.
I don't know what those are. I don't know what those are. What's Saturday?
I know.
Is that the day after Friday in the week?
Which is where it's forgivable. Like where I'm like, I'm okay with the frozen burgers at this stage in life because I get, life is just busy and it can be helpful. But when you have the time, if you're still on the frozen burgers, then I'd be disappointed. So I don't know if that's hiring it or firing it. I don't know.
I think you're kind of firing it. It's not really a fail. It's like a necessity if need be.
There you go. It can be a necessity if need be. Right. So I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna fire it. Yeah.
All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. We got a bunch of text messages we'll get to. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us, and that'll push our content out to a few more people who can enjoy this Game 3 preview of the Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. That was hire or fire it for GS Construction. Let's get into your bigger and hotter headlines today. Brought to you by Big Mama and Papa Pizzeria. BMPP is a real pizzeria restaurant, not just a pizza delivery chain. Serving authentic Italian cuisine with their made in-house pizza dough, traditional tomato sauce, and fresh toppings. Each pizza is cooked to perfection. A pizza experience that you've been waiting for. Visit them at 12848 97th Street. Order today at www.bmpp.ca or give them a call at 587-746-0550. That's Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria, second location on the way here in Edmonton as well. The bigger, and by the way, they have regular size pizza as well. They do have the 36 and the 54 inches, but they have regular size pizzas. You can swing them by the location, grab a slice as well. But if you order the big one, make sure you tweet it at us because I got to see those things because every time I see one of those boxes, I think it's absolutely hilarious. All right, so here we go. Bigger, hotter headlines. You got to get into the lineups for tonight. Cass, let's start with you on this one. If Darnell Nurse, they said yesterday they're planning for like Darnell Nurse to play. Do you go 11-7 just in case he can't get through the first period, or do you just roll out 12-6 and if for some reason he gets banged up and can't finish, you just take a shot with 5 guys the rest of the way?
I'm going 11-7 without question. If there is any doubt as to if he'll be able to finish or the quality of what he's going to be able to give you, I'm going 11-7 because it's way easier to function. Like we talked after that game about how much harder it is for defensemen and like the added pressure on Bouchard and the number of minutes played. And it's more difficult for them when you have only 5 guys to spread it out with than when you have 11 guys to spread it out with. Like it's a dramatic difference in terms of just the time that's needed. And so I'm playing 11-7. Like I would be, I don't want to say shocked is the right word if they go 12-6 tonight, but I would be concerned heading into it.
I mean, if they go 12-6 tonight, Cass, then obviously Nurse is fine. Not fine, but like they're expecting him. He's not going to feel a pain or something. He's going to get through the game because I don't think you can risk it. I don't think you can all of a sudden be 12 minutes into the hockey game and be like, well, we've got 12 forwards still, but Broberg, Desharnais, and Kulak are going to have to play a ton now. In a game that like this much is on the line. Gager, what do you think?
I don't like it. If Darnell Nurse says he's okay,
you're taking his word for it. That's it.
To guard against it, you're going 11-7. That's not good enough for me. You saw what the coaching staff did when in the Dallas series, where they thought Desharnais maybe it was banged up, maybe it was foot speed, not sure. Broberg goes in there and he hasn't looked out of place, guys. And CC is a very serviceable defenseman in the NHL. And I think if by the fact that Darnell Nurse finished the game with 4 minutes and couldn't play after that hit, I don't trust it. I don't like the fact that if you do go 11-7, all of a sudden you're putting a heavy workload at this time of year on your big guys. And if you get into this situation where you need a goal late and these guys are already upwards over 23 25 minutes, it just doesn't bode well. if Darnell Nurse isn't good enough to play his normal ratio of minutes, he's out, and I'm going 12-6.
Cass, would you prefer that option as opposed to having him in a little bit in 11-7?
I just prefer 11-7.
You still just go 11-7?
I just still go 11-7. I just, it's easier to deal with, and we've seen this lineup do it before. So
I'm really torn on it.
You're still making me a gourmet burger when I come over, even though it's 11-7, guys.
I'm torn on it because, I mean, I could say, we know Knobloch doesn't like to go 11-7. He's basically stayed away from it the entire time. So I wonder if when they take the ice tonight, Darnell Nurse just isn't out there and Cody Cece's in, and that's what they're going to. I mean, I'd rather have healthy Cody Cece for 19 minutes than banged up Darnell Nurse for 11. I mean,
what
doesn't
do you
make
think
sense.
Hurts with Darnell Nurse though? What do you
I thought it was
think?
a hip pointer. I thought it was a hip pointer.
Did you? I've heard that it's hip related. And Cass, I think hip pointer would probably be the one that people would be looking at here.
Well, just the way he went into the boards.
What exactly is a hip pointer? What's it like, a bruise, a contusion on the hip bone, or?
Yeah, it's a contusion. Okay. It's a contusion, like you have stuff that kind of wraps around your hip. So it's like if you were to find where your hip bone is, and you were to move your hands a couple inch up, and that muscle right above there, which is kind of attached like your glutes.
Can't find my hip bone, Cass. I'm looking for it. I can't find it, bud.
Maybe not hip bone would be the wrong term. Like the place where your leg attaches
to my body.
Like if you can feel there's
right there
to your body. Yeah, there's like a bump right there. That muscle there. Like if you kind of see when he goes into the wall, he kind of grabs that area.
Yeah, right away, instantly, right?
Yeah, they really hurt. Like because there's not a lot of muscle around there, and there's a bone. There's not a ton of padding there. And the challenge with those is if you hit them and the muscle spazzes out or seizes up right away, even if you were to freeze it, the muscle's still in spasm. So it's all locked up. Like you're going to really have a hard time pushing and pulling your leg. Now, if you can get it calmed down, if you can get it to loosen up, if you can try to keep the swelling out of it, yeah, you could be good to go in a couple of days. Like it's not necessarily a really long-term type of injury, but it's one where it's like if it's bad enough that you can't really push with it, you're not going to be mobile, and until you can get it to calm down and settle down that part of your body, you're a little bit hooped. But if they've been able to do that, well, there's possibility that he's ready to go. But yeah,
it's right by your bikini line, Dusty.
Well, why didn't you just say that, Cass? It's right by my bikini line. Duh.
Here, I pulled it up here from some government thing. A hip pointer is a contusion of the iliac crest and or the greater trochanteric region of the femur following a direct impact or collision.
All right, let's get to a couple of text messages. It says, guys, if Nurse can't go, and you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Guys, if Nurse goes and he all of a sudden can't continue, just make him a kamikaze pilot to take out a Panther. That's it. You're not going to be able to play anymore. Go out. Take down one of those guys. Take one of them out with you. Both of you go. I mean, maybe that's something that you can look at as well. Roger says, how can Nurse go from 4 minutes to healthy the next game? No way. You need to have a 7D. That one's in from Roger. Now, Propane Pimp says, Gager's the only one that's making sense. Why play 7D? Who gets the short straw if things are actually going well in that situation? So, yeah, I mean, none of this is ideal. You'd rather have a healthy Darnell Nurse and not have to make these decisions. But it's something that they're going to have to discuss. And on the injury front, just to continue with us in your bigger and hotter headlines for Big Mamas and Papa's Pizzeria, boys, Evander Kane quickly on the ice yesterday. Brief conversation with Knobloch and off. Cass, is the squeeze worth the juice or the juice worth the squeeze at this point with Evander Kane, or do you put a healthy body in there?
I think you got to try a healthy body, don't you? -2 again last game. Not that those goals were overly his fault.
Yeah, he was actually -3 last game.
Oh, was he -3? Okay, well, so -3 last game. I guess one was an empty netter though, so we're not. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I think it's time. It's time. Injury showing. I still, guys. I go back to like February and January when it's like it was pretty apparent that he's banged up, and I still don't know why. If it was, the athletic pubalgia, sports hernia, why he wouldn't have just had it fixed then to be 100% for the last month of the season and into playoffs, fully recovered. But that's the decision that they made, and I think right now you're seeing just the result of the grind of the rest of the year in playoffs, of playing a physical style where it might not be there right now, and that it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for the team. But it just seems to be that he just doesn't have that extra oomph right now, and that's not even necessarily his fault. It's if his body is just too banged up and the hernia is too herniated, the pubalgia is too pubalgy. What can you do?
Gage, what do you think here?
You take him out. He's
not he's just not helping you right now. It's not like he's given up, but he can't do it. Like,
but this series is tailored for Evander Kane, like even a 90% Evander Kane. You don't even need him at 100%, but he doesn't have the speed right now because he can't. Like, you watch him turn, and there's never there's no stops and starts with him. Like, it's gotten to the point where, unfortunately, it's this injury has progressed to a point where it requires surgery and time off to heal, and that's what was going to happen at the end of this whole run, anyways. But he's not serviceable, and it sucks because he could be a really effective player.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And that is where you can text us to get in on this next contest that we're going to get into. It is the $100,000 hole-in-one contest presented to you by Golf Town. Swing big this Father's Day and find yourself the perfect gift at Golf Town. Find dad or yourself. If you are a dad and you're like, I'll just pick up my own things. Dad's a seasoned pro or just starting out. Golf Town has everything he needs to hit the greens in style. They got the club, the apparel. He can look good, play good, feel good, and of course have the tech to know exactly how much you blew it and how much further you still have to go towards the green. Keep it simple with a Golf Town gift card and let dad choose from his own favorite brands. This Father's Day, give the gift of golf. Visit them in store or at golftown.com for more details. The keyword today, you just text this in. Text this keyword in right now to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Zach Tikim will grab one of you, and you will be our fourth and final qualifier today for the $100,000 hole-in-one. We will draw one name from the four names that qualified today, and you will be contacted tomorrow morning, and you will end up with a swing at $100,000 on a par 3, 180-yard hole, 17th out of the ranch on July 3rd. Today's keyword on Two Guys and a Goalie is Vice, V-I-C-E. Text Vice right now, V-I-C-E. Text Vice to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Text Vice to the inbox right now, and one of you will get hooked up with a chance to win a swing at $100,000 tomorrow morning with Golf Town. You guys got big Father's Day plans this upcoming weekend? What's the plans?
It's Father's Day.
Is it, wow. When did that change, Gage? At what point were your kids just like, oh, hey, Dad, happy Father's Day, and that's it? Like,
no, I thought it was second Mother's Day. That's what it usually turns out to be. So I don't know. Well, public service announcement, I guess. Yeah, just a reminder. Don't kiss Mom on Father's Day, but we'll leave it at that.
Cass, what are you doing on Father's Day?
I'm still giggling about that. I think we might do a family movie. We'll see.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I got to figure out.
Like go to a movie?
What I'm doing for my dad.
Go to a movie?
Yeah, probably
okay.
Go to a movie. In the afternoons, but we'll see on that.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I gotta reach out to my dad, see what his plans are, figure something out because I gotta plan something for him too. So we'll see. But that's kind of the way I'm leaning right now.
I know Tam and the kids are cooking something up. I get back, I think, from wherever, Vancouver. I think I get back from Vancouver at like 1. So that's a good chunk of the day still, like, to celebrate. A nice afternoon. Father's Day is a very afternoon thing, right? Mm-hmm. So looking forward to soon. Maybe I'll get to barbecue myself some more frozen burgers on Father's Day. Just like I always wanted to. That could be something that we could definitely look at as well. 780-218-9999. One more time, the keyword today is Vice. We got some Holinka tickets that we're going to give away a little bit later on here in Two Guys and a Goalie today as well. Just one more thing I want to wrap on, just around that, not wrap up just yet. We'll come back around. If you have any questions, let's do this. If you have any questions for Cass or Gager, hit us up on YouTube in the nasty chat. Hammer the thumbs up while you're there, or text them to us at 780-218-9999. I want to talk power play in a second. Don't let me forget that. One other thing I wanted to get to, though, in the bigger and hotter headlines, Marty Necas in Carolina. Looks like he's going to be in play here. I've seen the Winnipeg Jets have interest in him. I've seen multiple trade proposals coming from Calgary for at least from Calgary fans and Calgary media talking about this. My question is, if Markstrom and pieces are available in one deal for Necas and pieces, or Ehlers and pieces are available in a deal for Necas and pieces, if you're Carolina, are you trading for Markstrom and hoping he's that final piece? Or do you go and get a guy like Nick Ehlers that you can just slide into your top six and you're not going to lose anything that you got from Marty Necas? What do you guys think?
Goaltending has been their issue. They're going for if they have a choice between the two,
you have to, don't you? Like you have to.
You have to.
I'm not sure Markstrom's the guy, but I think the conversation, Gager, you're the goalie on Two Guys and a Goalie. You got to go. Like, is Markstrom the guy here for the Carolina Hurricanes? Do you think he's the final piece?
I just wonder what's up with Jake Gensel. He fit in so nicely there. But yeah, I agree with you guys. They need, if Markstrom goes to that type of system, he's going to be in conversation for the Vezina throughout the regular season. Postseason, not sure, but he will solidify that position. And when asked to play, he's probably going to say, I'm good to go, and not say that I need a little bit of a break at the most important time of the season.
I'll be fascinated to see what ends up. There'll be it happens every offseason. There's usually like 3 or 4 big name guys who are in play. And it always leads to a couple of good offseason episodes for Two Guys and a Goalie. So looking forward to seeing how that all sorts itself out. Back around to what's the path to the Oilers getting back in this series? Like, it's not, I don't think it's physically engaging with Florida and telling them like, we're tougher, we're going to get you. Like, what's the path back, do you think?
Well, Dusty and Gager, the path back is winning game 3 and then winning
on
game
the power
2.
play.
That's the path
you think
back.
It has to be on the power play?
No, you just have to win. The path back, Dustin, is scoring more goals in game 3.
Who are you? Matthew Owanek right now? Come on. Jeez Louise.
No, path back, I think, is twofold. One would still be, is the power play. I would say power play back on track, actually putting the puck in the net. And number 2 would be still just those big grade A mistakes that they've been shooting themselves in the foot with. Those would be the 2 big things. So fix the big mistakes, get the power play back on track. That, to me, you do those 2 things, you are going to be right back in this series.
Gage, what do you think? I got a great stat on the power play in a second here too.
I'm just repeating myself. I think you have to revert back to the simplest form of hockey for them. That's what needs to happen, and use the crowd to your advantage. Maddie and I were talking about it earlier on the big hits, those things that can get everything engaged. Use everything that you possibly in this game. And someone has to have the Zach Kassian, although Matt could do it too, but that Zach Kassian kind of game tonight where he takes over. That game against the San Jose Sharks, where he was the best player on the ice with hits, scoring goals. Someone other than Connor and Leon. They have to play good, but I'm still waiting for that other performance that comes out of some other player that's not wearing 29 or 97.
Reed Wilkins, friend of EST, listen to him over on 630 Ched, had this stat. Oilers power play, First 9 playoff games this year, they were 14 for 30, 46.7%. In the 11 games since, they are 5 of 28 for 17.9%. So that is the entire Dallas series, the tail end of the Vancouver series, and the beginning stages of this series here as well. So it's not just like, oh, they're 0-7 against Florida. They're 5 for 28 in their last 11 games. And I know a lot of talk about this aggressive penalty kill for the Florida Panthers. Cass, what are you supposed to do against an aggressive PK? Like, and when you watch these games, you go, wow, Florida's penalty kill is just so much better than every other penalty kill they face, or is that not the case?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a good penalty kill. I think they have executed it quite well, that aggression, but you beat aggression with good puck movement. That's how you beat it.
That shouldn't be a problem with this group, right?
It shouldn't be, but it has
Yeah.
been. And it was before too, even against teams that weren't, when we look at Dallas and we look at Vancouver, that weren't nearly as high pressure, but still were having, up until the end of the Dallas series, Dallas was having success against the Oilers' power play, and it was primarily because they weren't executing the first couple passes well. I can't remember which coach it was, and it's kind of stuck in my mind ever since then. That said, it takes 3 good passes. And maybe it was Kevin Constantine, actually. 3 good
What a weird
passes
twist.
to beat, weird twist. 3 good passes to beat an aggressive penalty kill. Like, they have to execute 3 good passes. And the Edmonton Oilers so far haven't done it. So whether that means moving around the horn, whether that means having automatic outs, wherever you're moving the puck, it's like you have to make 3 clean moves before that you're able to beat the power play and open things up. Because now you moved it once, everyone on the penalty kill has to adjust. And everyone pushes. You move it twice, they have to push again. They move it 3 times, you have to push again. And now all of a sudden, when you increase that amount of lateral movement that's needed, not just from one guy, but generally all 4 players on the ice, all of a sudden things start to open up. And you start to be able to now actually really look for options and opportunities. But what we've seen, and what I've seen from Edmonton in particular this series, is a guy gets a puck, and he's holding it, then making the play. And against an aggressive penalty kill, that's just taking away your own time and space and passing a problem off to the next guy. And on top of that, when that first pass happens, it's like handcuffing the guy or in his feet, or it's rolling and it's not. Basically, you're playing into the pressure versus playing to beat the pressure.
Gage, you remember the last time the Oilers scored a 5-on-5 goal in the playoffs?
No.
Broberg, Game 5 against Dallas.
Really?
They have not scored a 5-on-5 goal since then. Yeah, they had 2 power play goals in Game 6.
Shorthanded.
4-on-4 goal, and then so they have not scored a 5-on-5 goal since Broberg put that one off the faceoff from the point in Game 5 against Dallas. So they've got 1 5-on-5 goal in their last 4 games. Cass, do you think McLeod, Draisaitl, and Holloway can click tonight and have some success?
I'm hoping McLeod back on the wing helps.
It's the only place he's been able to produce anything, really.
It's the only place he's been able to produce. So I'm hoping that sparks him, wakes him up, gives Draisaitl some options, and Draisaitl has a lot of speed in that. Holloway has been a guy that's found his way to the net a couple of times. The playoffs hasn't so much recently. So I'm hoping that the opportunity to play with him sparks those guys a little bit, and maybe they can find some juice.
A little less responsibility on McLeod might suit him well, right? Maybe the whole gravity of the situation. Now he can just get on the wing. We all know it's a little bit easier on the defensive side being a winger in those instances, and he can just use his speed, support Leon as best he can. And Leon plays great when usually when he has 2 burners on his.
Well, he's got him now. I mean, those are the 2 fastest wingers on the team that he's going to have now, right?
Yeah. So, and they had some chemistry before, right? So hopefully you look to them to maybe have a spark and get one of those elusive 5v5 goals.
We do have some tickets. We have a 7-game ticket pack to the Hlinka Gretzky tournament. Teaming up with Hockey Canada here to promote the U18, the best U18 hockey players in the world, coming to Edmonton August 5th to August 10th at Rogers Place. It's the 2024 Hlinka Gretzky Cup. We've got 7-game and 14-game ticket packs that are now available at hlinkagretzkycup.ca, or you can hop online at Ticketmaster. Just search Hlinka Gretzky Cup. And we've got a 7-game pack right now that we are going to give away. All you have to do is text in your prediction, your score prediction for Game 3 tonight. Just send in a prediction for the game tonight to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Zach Dickham will pick one of you, and you will get hooked up with a 7-game ticket pack to the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, which is coming to Edmonton from August 5th to August 10th. You can get a look at the best U18 hockey players in the world firsthand. Cass, you weren't on with us on Tuesday, so I have to get your thoughts on Bouchard tapping out to Ekblad. That's exactly what I thought.
Right? Whatever. It was a bad night for Bouchard.
It was a bad night for Bouchard. He's had so many good nights in the playoffs. That was a bad night for Bouchard.
Yeah. Like you should be at the least like throwing a glove back there and like getting leather in his face. Yeah. Like you don't have to fight the guy. Don't expect that at all. But like someone's choking you out, like don't just like this isn't there's no referee that's going to be like, in a mad scrum, oh, he's tapping out, like you got to let him go now. Like, come on, stand up for yourself. Elbow him in the stomach. You don't even have to hit the guy in the head. Like do something. But yeah, it was a bad night for Bouchard, who has been so good. I just want to state he's been so good in the playoffs. That was a rough night for him, and that play didn't that just summarize Evan Bouchard's team?
Summarize the night. He looked exhausted.
The night as a whole, like just tired, just like I've had enough. Just let me out.
Yeah,
like, I just want my Werthers, and I want to take out my dentures.
Congratulations, you're gonna get game 2.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. I still like we talked about it on Tuesday. What Eric said, he should have just gone limp, and they would have been talking to Ekblad for supplemental discipline for choking a player out on the ice. Got to be a game. That's got to be a game. They got to set the standard somewhere. Hey, before we wrap, you guys, have either of you guys got into the Acolyte yet? Gage, you have, hey?
No.
I've done it all.
Okay, there's all 3 already. Okay, so I'm thinking of taking. I'm going to download a couple for the flight on Saturday morning to Vancouver. What should my expectations be without spoiling things?
Enjoy the story of pre-Jedi, and the Jedi aren't all cracked up as they've been, so to speak. I would say.
Really? So the Jedi were viewed differently 200 years prior to the prequels?
No, I just think that they've been able to write history of how good they are, and they're not the best. That's how I look at it. Over the first 3 episodes.
Cass, is this a show that you really want to get into? I'm kind of like, I got to watch it because I watch everything Star Wars, but I'm not like, oh my God, I need to make sure I get to these right away,
Yeah, I haven't been. We finished Fallout yesterday.
Oh, you got that done finally. What a show, eh? Did you like it?
Finally.
You're the video game. Okay, I loved it. I loved it.
Great. It was great.
Give me season 2
my
right
wife
now.
Even said, my wife even said, she was like, this is a really good show. I'm like, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, it was good.
It isn't.
Even if you don't watch The Acolyte, just watch the first scene. First scene's unreal.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm going to watch the whole thing anyway. Man,
someone spoiled the first scene. Someone spoiled the first scene for me, and I think that has me. Yeah, that has me maybe like a little bit.
Let me just
tentative.
Does somebody die in the first scene, Gager?
We're not going to spoil anything, but
no, you got to watch it.
Okay.
You got to watch it. But
you got to watch it.
I'm using my Jedi powers, and I'm thinking somebody dies in the first scene.
It explains everything moving forward. Like you get answers right away. So, and you already said like there's a Wookiee Jedi. Okay?
Yeah, I'm excited for that in the third episode. I think that should be a lot of fun. Hey, I want to quickly get to this. Let's wrap with this. This is from in the Nasty Chat. I've never seen them comment before, but what a name. Vane Mretsky says, guys, on the chokehold, the dumbest take, boys. For someone who does MMA, you can't move. You're in a vulnerable position. Hell, trained fighters tap out. But yeah, Cass, as easy as a glove in the face. I mean, I would also. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Because that comes in. Love the name. Love that you texted, by the way. As if I have never done MMA or trained MMA or watched MMA or understand MMA and understand chokeholds, I have tried to choke people out on the ice. Full guillotine. I have tried to choke people out. That was not like Evan Bouchard was not in like a chokehold to the extent that it's like he is about to pass out, tapping out. That is completely different. Completely different. He was not being choked out. There was no pressure on the carotid artery on the side, and you can't really with elbow pads on because of the padding that you have there anyways. Like he wasn't going to get choked out.
Can't lock it right in.
That was not, you can't lock it right in. So the glove in the face on the other side of it, because if someone's locked in and you can't escape from it, the glove in the face isn't to truly escape from it. It's just to stand up for yourself. The elbow to the ribs isn't just to escape from it. It's to stand up for yourself. Like, again, A, he wasn't being choked out, actually. And B, yeah, I get that if you're locked into a guillotine and someone actually is cutting off the blood flow and your oxygen, like, yeah, you're going to pass out, hard to fight against. There's a reason people tap in the octagon. That's not an octagon. He wasn't actually being choked out to tap out. That's the whole point, is that he wasn't doing anything about it. And he just kind of was just like, okay, like, you got me, I'm done. Like, let me go. Like, I'm not going to fight back. Like, as opposed to, fighting back. So anyway,
VR Montenegro says,
but I love it.
Yeah, VR Montenegro says, damn, Cass, have you tried to stab someone with your skate as well?
I've thought about it. Yeah.
I hope the Oilers win tonight, because a tired Cass on the post game dealing with everybody freaking out after they fall behind 3-0 is going to be must watch. It's going to be must watch. So hopefully they can get the win. Everybody will be happy, and you can eventually get some rest, Cass. That'll be good.
Yeah.
That'll be good. All right, good show today, boys. If you're listening on TuneIn, iHeart, or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, we do have the Nielsen Show replay coming up at 1 o'clock, and of course the GCL Diesel pregame show begins at 4:30 tonight with Tom Gazzola and Matt Kassian and YouTube Trev right here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Two Guys and a Goalie, presented to you by the great team over at GS Construction. They are hiring right now, and they would love for you to join them. Hop online, check them out, gsconstruction.ca. Click ready to work, or just visit their page at indeed.ca. For Gager and Cass, before I let you go, I'm saying 4-2 Oilers tonight. What do we got?
I echo your statement, Dusty. 4-2. Empty netter.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Empty netter, me too.
I'm going 5-1 Edmonton.
Oh, I love it. All right, boys, you have a good afternoon. Cass, have fun tonight, buddy. It's going to be a good time. And I'll talk to everybody tomorrow morning on The Nielsen Show. For Gage and Cass, I am Nielsen. Two Guys and Goalie, presented by GS Construction. Nielsen Show replay coming up over on TuneIn, iHeart, and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Enjoy the rest of your day.